I want to start asking you one thing. Can you point at yourself? I can't see that much up here, but yeah, almost every one of you, except some of you, are pointing at the same spot. You're pointing here. And that's where the grace begins. I'm very dedicated to explore everything that has to do with grace. And grace is quite a difficult word because it's not that easy to define what it is. It's something that makes me feel very good. And I believe it's kind of a divine spot in us. And I'm a little bit scared of using anything like that can sound like it will be religious, because I believe that every people need to have their own interpretation for, I don't know what the word for that is, their own words on what goes on in here that is good. Because what goes on really in here is good. And that's where the grace comes from. And I have a background that, if I go really back a long time ago, I was a very happy child. And I believe that all kids in some way are happy. They were living very close to this spot in here. And I was a sparkling kid, and I had a very nice childhood, and up until I was 4 years old. And when I was 4 years old, I saw things that I shouldn't have seen. I heard things that I shouldn't have heard, and I was very traumatized by the things that I was viewing in the world. I saw grown-up people that did things that I couldn't really understand. And I have a memory where when I was a kid, that I was always looking at grown-up people and thinking, what the heck are they doing? Why are they doing this? Why are they destroying things? Why? I can have that thought today, even when I put out the TV. I don't really understand what it is I'm seeing. It's so far away. It's so freaked out. They destroy things. We destroy life. We destroy our bodies and our relationships and everything. And when I was 4 years old, my mother did something with me that she was a very loving woman, and she saw that Agneta is not feeling good. She shouldn't see these things. She gave me a TV box. Do you remember this huge TV boxes that we have? If you go back in time, now they are so thin. But I had the fortune to have a very large TV box. And she said to me, go in there. Make a home in there. Make a space where you're safe and where you can be happy. And she gave me pillows, and she gave me pictures, and she gave me toys and things like, go in there and create a world for yourself so that you don't need to be around here. And I started in that box to develop structures. I developed systems. I developed things that I was always thinking about. How can this be better? how can I make a room for myself that is a better place than what goes on outside there? So it was a really beautiful box, really, really beautiful box. But I grew out of that box, and I needed to go out into the world. But I continued to do that. I started to create worlds around me, larger and larger and larger and larger. But I always came back to some of the points here that I was collecting structures. I need structures in my life that are really, I don't know what to call them, sustainable. I need them to work. And I collect structures and systems that no one really can say that doesn't work. Because I had some dream about doing something out there that people could use. And I didn't invent them myself. I just took them. This structure worked, this structure worked, and this structure worked, and this thing works, this thing works. If we bring them together, we will have a really, really nice place to stay at and be good to each other. So one of the first structures that I've been working with for a long time is timeless spiritual practice. Timeless spiritual practice. And now we go back to that. That is quite difficult to talk about spiritual things because it's very close to religion. And I have a background in I saw a lot of screwed up religious things going on around me. But I believe that religion is good, but we need to go on the other side of them, back to the basic of Christianity and Buddhism or whatever it is, back to the basics of who we are and go back in here. And the timeless spiritual practice is that they are spiritual and that they are timeless means that they were really important 500 years ago and they will be important in 500 years from now. And it will be important for you, and for men, women, Christian, Muslims. And I have a system that I work with that are 33 spiritual practice, but they can be 30 or 40 or 15 or whatever. But I work to teach people to work really hard on those principles. And it's about love, respect, honesty, unity, compassion, creativity, forgiveness, all these things that all people need. And I believe that we should teach our kids today that there are spiritual practices that we can use that goes for everyone. So that's one of the things that I work a lot with. Then I have another thing a structure that I work a lot with, and that is speaking the language of peace. Hafiz the poet said, "The words you use become the house you live in." So the words you are using becomes your own environment in here. And it also becomes the environment around you and in the bigger world. So speaking a language of peace is a process language, and it's also called nonviolent communication, developed by Marcel Rosenberg. And it's a very easy language to use, and it connects people. It makes us understand each other. It goes beyond this right and wrong and the things we think people would do or we should do or whatever. It goes really back into basics, into you. What do you need? How do you feel? What do you want? And also speak from here authentically. I need this. This is important for me. And then we meet each other. It's not taking away a lot of crap with our talk to each other, that we are mixing things and have a lot of long dialogues about who is right and who is wrong. So that language of peace is really important for me as a structure. And then I have another structure something that is very important for me when I work with this graceful living, a way of graceful living, and that is to work with timeless beauty. And people always say you can't discuss beauty because that's something that is subjective. And I say, no, it's not. If we take the word timeless before beauty, you will know that timeless beauty was beautiful 500 years ago and will be in 500 years from now. And where there is beauty, people are thriving. They're behaving good. They feel good. And we have so many schools and hospitals and backyards and homes and that are so poor energetically. You can't feel the enchanted things that is when people are really devoted their heart into something, to put their soul into something. So this timeless beauty is so important for me. And it's also about, I come from a world, I teach interior design, where we come from the Feng Shui field and the wabi-sabi. I've written books about that. It's using these old traditions and mixing them with the new green design and the new technology that we can use that is nature-based and that doesn't harm things. And combining those things, I'm very devoted to the sacred geometry field, the golden mean proportions, that we need to take back the good proportions of windows. Golden means it's a proportion that you can feel in your body. This is beautiful. You just know that it's beautiful. You feel good in it, but you can't describe. You don't know why, but it has some mathematics behind it that can show you the good proportions. And we really need to sustain those. So another structure that structure is not the right word for this, but that is also that I'm asking nature for everything. Nature knows everything that we need to learn, everything that we need to know. It's been here for millions of years, and we have just been here for such a short while. So if we start to ask nature, How will you do this? And then we go into the field that is my huge passion, that's biomimicry. The way you're asking nature, how can we make a solution out of this? I have a problem, and hi, you're here. Can I look at a butterfly? Can I look at a flower? Can you tell me how to do this? Can you tell me how to design this? Can you have a problem here? I need to fix these things together. Can you show me somewhere in nature where to find it? And that is, I think this is the most important theme that we need to learn, and that's the biomimicry. It is the butterflies that are going to show us tomorrow's way of designing fiber optics. It is the geckos that are climbing up the wall that will teach us how to fit things together. It is with so many fantastic things to find in nature. You look at the sky when you see the geese when they're flying in this like a V. Have you seen that? And if you start to look at them, why are you flying like this? They can tell us that we fly like this because it goes faster. We reach our goals faster. And we can rest in each other's dynamic. We can rest and go front and lead, and then we go back, and another bird go front and lead. And in that way, we can make a very relaxed system and fly together very fast. And we need to have a fast goal now, and that is a healthy planet, beautiful, healthy planet. So there are many ways to work with sustainable solution and beautiful solutions. And it always comes back to one thing. You need to be in contact with something good in here. And it's all to get rid of the rest. Skip all the bullshit and all the things that we have and go to the really, really back to basic, to the most important things in life. And if you want to go on to a journey that is more graceful with your life, one of the first things is I don't have answers for people how to do that, but I can ask questions. And one of the first questions I want you to ask yourself is that, how can I relax the system? Everything in life is a system. Your body is a system, your relationship is a system, you have a system with your food, you have a digestive system, you have system in the society, and the big problem today is all the tension. We have tensions in the system all over, in our bodies, in our relationships. So one of the really core question here is how can I relax the system? And it might seem like I'm a very peaceful person, but I have my days when I'm not that either. So when I don't speak the language of peace either. But I had an argument with a man 2 weeks ago, and we were really heating up the system between us. He's working for me, and he's trying to develop some design things for me, and we didn't understand each other. We didn't understand, and we was heating up and heating up and heating up and heating up everything, and it started to go in every strange way, and we started to be nasty to each other, and it was like, how can this thing happen? And then I was doing this talk for now, and I was thinking, but Agneta, you need to relax the system. And you know, the worst thing you can do in that situation is using your iPhones and you're texting things. And then you get it back, oh, shit. And then I realized this is not working. It became harder and harder, and the pressure gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I had to ask myself, oh, please relax the system. Relax the situation. And I just needed to get rid of all my stuff, my phone and everything, and sit down and say, this is not working. How can I relax this? And the first thing is that I start to breathe better, and I start to relax my shoulder, and I was looking. When I was skipping all the thoughts that I have, I didn't pay attention to what I was thinking. I was just relaxing. I saw the way he was. I saw the situation through his eyes, and then I realized, oh shit, we are just destroying this. And then I could meet him on another level, and I said, oh, okay, let's have a cup of coffee. Let's start from the beginning again. I don't want this. I want us to. It's better that we have a good relationship together than that we are heating up things like this to get this to this timeline or deadline. So that is one of the things. How can I relax the system? Another thing is, how can this be simplified? Simplify, 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 simplify. And that is one of the things you can do is just to get rid of all the things you have in your life. We collect like squirrels. We collect things that are too much of everything. And I had a Feng Shui colleague that had a competition with her clients about who can find the worst thing in their home that they collected. You know what won? A goat bra. She didn't have a goat, but she had a goat bra. And do you know why? It was cheap. How many things don't you have at your home because you bought it because it was almost cheap? So just don't do it. Just get rid of the things. Only keep the things you really need, the things you use, the things you really like. Get rid of the rest. That's not important. But that's also a thing that making life sustainable is to declutter things, to simplify things. And also ask yourself, how can I make the things I have around me more beautiful, more joyful, more serene? And when we come into that question of how can I make this situation more beautiful or serene or simplify things, you will go directly to your heart and you will feel in here, this is the right way. You'll find it. You'll find a good solution, but it's a way of thinking. It's about a structure in your brain that you need to shift in somewhere. And I am having a situation right now where I'm losing my mother. It's a horrible experience. She's drifting out into a world that I can't reach her anymore. She has a brain tumor, and 2 weeks ago she didn't recognize me. And I went out to her barn. I was sitting there crying, and I believe that one of the most beautiful things we can do in life is to be very honest and authentic, and that tears are beautiful also. That pain, the raw pain, is as beautiful as other things. And I asked myself, how can I be in a way that is better in this situation? How can this be simplified? How can I make some beauty and joy in this and put some serenity into it? And I realized that I need to do something that I haven't done in my life before. I haven't been that physical. I hugged her sometimes, but I needed to be more physical. So I went into her and I crawled down in her bed and I was holding her. And I realized that probably, even if it was such a painful thing, it was the best day of my life, the best part that I can say that it's a beautiful thing. And I read a poem or a quote. I don't know who has said that, but it said that if someone would ask me what a beautiful life is, I will hold them in my hands, take them in my arms, put their head to my shoulder and say, like this. So, it's my heartfelt wish for you to have a graceful life. Thank you. Thank you.